Man, I'm excited about this one today. Scotty McCreery with me. Scotty, how are you, bud?
Man, I'm good. I'm pumped to be here, pumped to be out of the house, and excited to chat today.
Well, that's what everybody says. I'm just excited to be out of the house.
Dude, it's so true right now, man. I mean, I'm used to being gone 3-4 days a week, and now it's, home every day. So being in Nashville and getting to hang out, talk some music is good by me, man.
We're going to talk some music. We're also going to talk some memorable photos from your life.
Yeah.
And we're going to start today with one of you in the studio. Tell me about this photo.
Yeah, so this was not that long ago, actually. This was just a month or two ago, and we're trying to finish up this record right now. So we started this thing, the record, pre-COVID. Like, we were in the studio, got it all cut and stuff, or a lot of it cut, right before all the shutdown started, and I thought we'd really done it. But then I had all this time to sit at home, pick up my guitar, write songs, and I just started writing songs that I fell in love with, and I was like, guys, I know we have a lot, but we got to get back in the studio and start cutting some more songs because I think these really say something. So we were in there cutting 3 songs that day, 6 that week, and you can see up on the TV there, my guy Derek Wells is kind of hidden in the screen, and he's one of my co-producers and plays on everything in Nashville. He's the man.
Is this was this during COVID? This photo is that?
Yeah, that's during COVID stuff.
So is he just in a completely different space, or in the same building, or is he in another world?
Yeah. So normally, I mean, we're in the studio on a normal thing. We got management coming in, the labels coming in. Everybody wants.
Everybody got to watch.
Yeah, everybody wants to see what's going on. Yeah. But no, we kind of limited the bodies that were in there, and everybody's wearing a mask. You can see my little bandana that I got on. Right there.
Those are the best masks, bandanas.
Yeah, I like a good bandana.
It's a little stylish and functional.
Exactly, and you can change out the different ones with what you're wearing that day. So, big bandana guy, absolutely.
It's how men match.
Yes, absolutely.
With bandanas.
Yes, we match with our bandanas.
And when you were writing, you said you were in there and you were recording, and then you started writing more songs. Did you feel like those newer songs were better than what maybe you'd picked out? Or
no, I don't know if I would say better. I mean, a lot of times it's just the recency bias. It's like, man, I loved this a year ago. Man, I just wrote this a few weeks ago, and I'm loving this right now. And honestly, though, I just think I had a lot of time to sit back and kind of reflect on life and where I was at and where the world was at. And we kind of wrote songs based off of that. And I just fell in love with these songs we were writing, and I was like, I just can't see us creating a project and putting it out there and not having these songs on there. So luckily the label was on board with me, and we're chugging along full steam ahead.
Oh, we got to stop right here on this one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, right?
Dude, you have no idea. I mean, you were talking to an Elvis nut.
Yeah.
And that is so fun. That's little Scotty right there. That was, I think I was 8 or 9, probably 8. And Elvis was just my guy. Like, from the very beginning, my grandma...
Is he the first one you remember?
Yeah.
Like,
my grandma gave me a book when I was young. It was like How to Be Like Elvis. And it was all about Elvis and what he was. And so, like, as you can see, I got the pose.
Yep.
Got a little lip curl, the glasses, the sideburns. But my grandma also gave me a cassette. And it was Elvis on one side and Little Richard on the other. And I wore that thing out.
Was this one made, or is this like
no? This was like
grandma made.
No, this was something she had bought and was just in her little collection, and it was awesome. I think I had Hound Dog and Blue Suede Shoes on one side, and Little Richard. I think was it Tutti Frutti? Was that one of them? And then You Keep on Knocking, But You Can't Come In. That one. Oh man, I love that cassette. And that's kind of where I got my love for Elvis.
You're probably lowered in pitch. You listened to it so much, stretched it out.
Oh, exactly right, exactly. But yeah, Elvis.
You thought about pulling this back out for a stage show?
I think so. Well, I was going to do a Vegas residency, and once I get that, we're going to pull the old jumpsuit back out.
Did you get back on stage? You can.
Yes.
Yeah, you can get back into that.
We're going to be full of surprises once we get back out there.
This is what you have to look forward to, folks.
Yes, I mean, come on out. You'll see me just singing Elvis.
Scotty in some polyester and some sequins.
Come on now. I'll have all the different scarves, handing them out to the crowd.
This picture right here, I was looking at the date. This is March 2020. This had to be right before everything shut down.
This was like the day before the world stopped turning. Like it was, we were there, and that was like the first night. We were at the Ryman Auditorium. And it was a show I've been looking forward to for a long time now. We sold the place out. It was bananas. And so I've been looking forward to playing the Mother Church. And then all of a sudden you start hearing about this COVID-19, coronavirus. And It's like, man, what is that? You don't think nothing's gonna happen from it, but I think that night we did like a media reception thing and we had some management and just different people from around town that came out. And it was the first time I saw like an elbow instead of a shake and like a air high five instead of a real high five. And I was like, man, there might actually be something to this whole thing. Luckily, we got that show in just in the nick of time before kind of we all realized, oh, wow, we got to like stop what we're doing. And
It is weird to see. I mean, I know some shows are coming back, and it's weird to see a photo where you don't see at least someone with the scarf or the mask or something on and sitting side by side. And
nobody's apart yet. I mean, we didn't know, but that was like right before the shutdowns. As a matter of fact, I think it was the last headlining show the Ryman had before the shutdowns. And then, funny enough, kind of full circle moment, September of 2020, we came back, and we were the first show. We did a live stream there during kind of the shutdowns. We were the first show to welcome people back to the Ryman. So we had like 250 people. Yeah. We just played it to like 2,000 to 3,000 people, and now it's like 250, all spread out with masks on and stuff. But it was a pretty cool full circle moment to be back.
What's it mean to you to play the Ryman? Mask, no mask.
Yeah.
Social distance, non-social distance, and just being able to play it. What's it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, the Ryman, you're talking to a country music nut, a guy that, I mean, I grew up, I told you earlier about Elvis, but I mean, other folks, Conway Twitty, my mom loved some Conway Twitty and the Twitty Birds, and Loretta Lynn, Randy Travis was huge, Ronnie Millsap, a couple of North Carolina guys. So I grew up on it, and all those guys played the Ryman Auditorium. I mean, everybody that I grew up loving has played the Ryman. And so you feel that when you walk out there. You feel kind of the ghost of country music past, is what I like to say. So it's special, and you try to think of all the folks that have come before you, and you want to live up to those high standards that they kind of set there. And just, the Ryman Auditorium means a lot for country music as a whole.
While we're talking about concerts, let's hit this one right here. You need another light?
I know, right?
Need another light in this?
Dude, it's
that's a great set, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That was also the Ryman, but that set, I mean, and those guys in the band, all those guys they're all family. I mean, Joey's behind me, so you can't see him, but he was the first band member.
Your drummer?
Total, yeah. He kind of came on August of 2011, and then the rest of the band, for whatever reason, fell apart. And then Jeff on the piano playing guitars, and Justin, they're both in the back too. They were the next two. So Joey, Jeff, and Justin are the originals. Nathan came on next on the Brad Paisley tour in 2012, and then Dylan's been with us like 7 years now. So they're all family, and they've been here with me for so long. And yeah, those lights, I mean, we've been on tours with, guys like Brad Paisley and Rascal Flatts, and you see what their set looks like. You're like, all right, I'm not quite there yet, but how close can we get? So I love lighting, moving lights. It just adds energy to the show. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from it.
When you're out with Brad and Rascal Flatts, did you ever get a chance to sneak out, go watch their light shows?
Every night.
Every night, really?
Oh, yeah. If you go see me on a
ball
tour.
cap?
Yep.
Ball cap, sneak out?
Yeah. I mean, I put on like a bucket hat before and gone and like really dressed down, and I've gone to like the lawn at an amphitheater show and just walked around with people, and I was like, I was just on stage 15 minutes ago and singing, everybody was singing along, and now I just like to be amongst the folks, among the fan. I'm a fan, I'm a fan of Brad Paisley and Rascal Flatts, and all these years later I get to play shows with them, but I still get pumped up when I hear I'm gonna miss her or God bless the broken road.
You picked some good ones to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Paisley was my very first tour in 2012, and he just kind of took me under his wing, and we'd have dinner together, and he'd just kind of show me the ropes, give me advice, and that was invaluable for me at such a young age. I was 17, 18 years old, and just like, what am I doing? And he definitely helped me learn a lot.
Well, talking about people who have been influential to you, I want to go through a couple of these. Yeah. This one right here, the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely, when you're talking about GOAT of country music, greatest of all time, Garth has to be in that conversation. Nobody does it like him, the energy, the passion. So yeah, we got a call to go open up for him in South Dakota, and man, it was like the coolest experience ever. But it was also just like very nerve-wracking. Number one, you're playing a show with Garth Brooks.
Sure.
Number two, he sold out 7 or 8 nights in this arena. There's 20,000 people here, and I'm on stage, and good and well, ain't nobody here to see you. You know what I mean? There's not a soul here who's here to see you.
But he does like getting the crowd in to see you.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was sitting backstage with him once doing the meet and greet thing and talking to him, and a security guard came in, and Garth looks at his watch and he says, let's give him 30 more minutes.
Really?
It wasn't time. I mean, it was time for the show to start, but the security guard had told him how many people had made it into the arena. He's like, let's give him 30 more minutes. So I had 30 more minutes of people to get in to see his opening act.
Yeah. I mean, Garth calls it, man.
Cool.
It happens on his time.
He's the boss.
He's the boss, and rightfully so. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome night, and kind of getting to know him over the years he's just a cool dude, man.
That's awesome. How about this one?
Randy, absolutely. This was so cool. We were at Billy Bob's, and I just told you. I mean, Randy to me was huge. Getting the chance to grow up and see somebody from North Carolina make it big and have iconic country songs that everybody's learning. Forever and Ever Amen on the guitar. So we're at Billy Bob's, and it's like 30 minutes before the show, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear a knock at the door. And we have a saying on the bus: if somebody's knocking, they don't belong. Like, don't answer the door if somebody's knocking, because they don't know the code or they're not with it. So somebody knocks, and I was like, I ain't getting it. So somebody else goes and gets it. Says, Scotty, you might want to come to the door. I was like, oh, man. So walked over there, and Randy Travis was there. And he came and got to say hello, and he sat on the stage with us and watched the whole show. And we sang Forever and Ever Amen that night. It was very, very cool.
Has the policy changed now? If Randy Travis came knocking, you start answering the door?
I still don't answer too much if somebody's knocking, but I've definitely learned my lesson that, sometimes they do belong.
Is there a ring camera for a bus door?
Some of them have them. We don't.
Okay.
We don't. I think...
might be a good one to get.
Yeah.
See who's knocking on that one.
That would be great.
How about this picture?
Yeah, old Whispering Bill and the late, great Charlie Pride. That was a fun night. It was at the Grand Ole Opry, and anytime you get to play the Opry special, number one, because like I was saying about the Ryman, so many greats have played there. But number two, when you play the Opry, a lot of times you get to run into your heroes. You get to run into folks that are, still playing the Opry and stuff. So, honestly, I think this night we're sitting there. That might have been the night I debuted 5 More Minutes.
Oh, wow.
On the Opry, I think it was. But all we talked about was baseball. That's
really?
That's all we talked about. Whispering Bill, he's a big old Atlanta Braves fan, and so yeah, we could have talked about music, this, that, or the other, but those guys are such big baseball fans, and I grew up playing ball, so it was like, how do you throw your slider? I mean, just little things like that. So that was super fun.
How about that? Las Vegas ACM Awards.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
I think you can see my face right there says it all. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me right now? Is this real life? Yeah, I mean that's humongous. I mean that's Dolly Parton.
How about the Mafia keeping guard right there?
Oh, I mean, yeah. It was a little intimidating to try and say hey to Dolly for sure. Not because of her, because
is that her detail?
That's
Oh,
those
wow.
folks are there to keep Dolly safe. Probably to keep people like me away from her.
Probably, yeah.
But no, that was so special. She was so sweet, and she's one of those that seems. She's the queen. She's like at such a high level, but it almost seems like she's like family.
So
like
down to earth.
She should be having Thanksgiving dinner with you. She's just so cool.
She'd probably show up if you asked her too.
Yeah, I mean she's just the coolest and the sweetest person on earth, and I'd always heard that, so it was really cool to get to meet her and see that in person.
Who's this?
Ooh, that is my guy right there.
Guy.
That's my guy, Charlie Wilson. When I was in middle school, I rode the bus my first 2 years of middle school, and then the districts got changed, and I couldn't ride the bus anymore, but I could ride carpool. So I rode carpool, and we had like a little, there was 3 of us, and the parents would switch around. And one of the parents always listened to 104.7 Foxy Radio. That's what we listened to every day on the way to school. And one of the days we're driving, and a Charlie Wilson song comes on. It's Charlie, last name Wilson. I'm in the back seat and I'm like vibing, and I'm like, this song is great. And this was like pre-Shazam or any of that. So I'm like, I get out my notebook real quick and I start writing down the lyrics. I'm like, I have to find out who this guy is and like what the song is. And so ever since then, I loved that song. And then I kind of dived into his records, and I mean, he is just the coolest dude on earth. He was the lead singer of the Gap Band back in the day. You dropped a bomb on me. And just the man, his biography came out. I was at the beach, and there was no bookstores within like 30 miles. But I was like, so I drove an hour away from the beach just to go get his biography, drove back to the beach, and read his entire biography in 2 days. I'm just that big of a fan. And
how did this moment happen?
So just because I'm a fan, if I'm listening to him, I was tweeting about, I'm jamming with my man Charlie Wilson. And eventually he responded, and we got to talking, and then his manager responded. He said, hey, Charlie's going to be playing Raleigh, and he'd love to have you out. So he invited me, my family, and all my friends. He gave us a big box, and we got to watch. And I mean, I've never danced like that at a show. And he said, you want to come sing Charlie Last Name Wilson with me on stage? I was like, are you kidding me? So I walked up on stage and got to sing with Charlie, and that was one of the coolest moments of my life. And I've converted all my friends into Charlie Wilson fans too.
Have you?
It's
Yeah.
like there's probably 6 of us in our group that have gotten married now, and at every single wedding there's a Charlie Wilson song called "Touched by an Angel."
Okay.
And it's like
Yeah.
it gets the crowd going, So yeah, love that guy.
The Hag.
The Hag. Yeah, this was pretty early in my career. He came and played Cocoa Booth Amphitheater in Cary, North Carolina.
Okay.
And his folks reached out to us and said, hey, Merle's going to be in town. You want to come see him? And I was like, oh my gosh. So we got to go backstage and hang out with Merle for a little bit, and his son Ben. And I tell you what, Ben is an amazing player and singer as well. He definitely got,
He got the gene.
Yeah, he got the gene for sure. But that was so cool. I mean, again, somebody you grew up listening to. You have his records, you know his songs, you learn them on guitar, when you're trying to learn country songs. He's one of the guys. So just to meet him, and that wasn't, too far before he passed. So it was just cool that I got to have that moment just to see him. I mean, I was just excited to be a fan,
Sure.
and then to lo and behold get to meet the guy. I was freaking out.
And then the one that really, when we got to know, the rest of the world got to know Scotty
Yeah.
McCreery, it was because of a song by Josh Turner.
Absolutely. Josh is, I've been a fan of his music
Yeah.
for a long, long time. And you can tell through listening to a lot of my music probably how much I've been influenced by him.
Sure.
So he's always been such a good guy to me over the years. I've told him, because like you said, I sang Your Man on Idol a ton, it seemed like. And then I started singing Long Black Train on Idol. And I've told him since, I said, man, if I was you, I would have been sick of this little kid singing all my music. But he was always so gracious and so cool about it. And so that day was one of the best days of my life. I was on Idol still. It was top 3. You got to go home. And I hadn't been home. I'd left like a couple days before Valentine's Day in February 2011. And this was in May. I'd never been away from home for more than 5 days.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
on like little vacations. So, I mean, I'm missing my family. I'm missing my friends. And I got to see everybody in one day. I mean, they packed it into like a 10-hour day. See family, see friends. Our town has 28,000 people in it, or it did, at that time. And 30,000 people showed up to the park. Like,
wow.
It was crazy. So I'm sitting there and I'm singing on stage. I'm singing Your Man.
Yeah.
I had no clue Josh was there. I mean, they kept it secret from me. So I'm sitting there. I go to stage left, and I'm kind of kneeling down, and I'm just looking at the crowd singing his song, and all of a sudden they start really like going crazy. And I'm like, man, I got him right in the palm of my hand. Like, I got him right here.
This is all me.
Yeah, I mean, they are loving
Yeah.
me, baby. I mean,
Yeah.
just basking in it. And then I stand up and just kind of turn around to go to the other side of the stage and see Josh is walking out. You can see I'm freaking out. So super cool of him to do that again. Didn't have to do that, but drove down to North Carolina and sang, and it was a special moment for me and awesome of him. So.
Well, if you'd never had that moment on American Idol, is this what you would be doing right now?
I could probably be a mean first base coach or something like that. I don't think
Being honest, right?
Yeah,
Just being honest.
I don't think I would have been a pitcher in the big leagues by any means.
You don't think so?
I will say, I mean, I don't want to sell myself short here. Yeah. I was a Greg Maddux-esque pitcher.
Okay.
To where, like, there were guys on my team. I was 80, 81 miles an hour. That's topped out.
That was
Could
it.
not throw
Okay.
any faster.
Got it.
But I hit my dang spots. I knew where the ball was going every time I threw it. And my senior year, which I think that is my senior year, I know that because that glove right there is my coach's glove. My Coach Goffney, he played baseball at Georgia Tech with Mark Teixeira and a few others. So super cool. But my glove, the fall before that, we did the music video for The Trouble with Girls, my second single, on that field. And somebody stole my glove that night. And so,
Did they really?
So I lost my glove, and I was like, I don't, So Coach lent me his glove. So that was my senior year. In my senior year, I'm pretty sure, I could be off just a little bit here or there, but I'm pretty sure I was like 55 strikeouts to I think 6 walks for the entire season. My ERA was like .88. Like I didn't even, so.
Well, that's awesome.
I had a really great season.
Yeah.
Not major league status. The White Sox almost drafted me. It was a publicity stunt, but they almost drafted me. But
they just did it for the press.
Yes. I had to fill out the draft sheet, everything.
Wow.
But baseball, that was.
Did you get an agent?
I had to sign who was my agent.
Did
I put my dad.
Put your dad.
Yeah. Old Pops is my agent. But yeah, baseball was my first love for sure.
Well, we just kicked off MLB season. A couple of weeks ago now, and you glad it's back?
Man, I love just going to a game, kicking back, and watching a game. So I was watching a game last night. My buddy from college, Carlos Rodon, was pitching for the White Sox.
Oh, cool.
He pitched 5 scoreless innings. I was rooting him on. So
that's awesome.
I love kicking back and just watching the game.
Yeah. And for you, that's the number one sport, baseball.
Yeah, it's always gonna have a special spot in my heart because it was my first love. My dad played it in college, and I played it all the way through my senior year of high school, and it was my first love. It's tough. I threw the ball on the beach with my buddy Pat, and the next day I could barely move my arm because it'd been so long. But I play a lot more golf now because I can go play by myself. But to get 18 guys together to play baseball, it's tough. But golf has been my thing.
Well, speaking of golf,
yeah, it's a great.
Nice little chip in. It looks like.
Yes, so this was at Augusta National.
That's awesome.
And it is. I was freaking out the whole day. I was still very much. This was when I was still in high school, so I was still a big baseball guy. I hadn't really dived into golf yet. I might have shot like a 122 that day,
Okay.
But this was on the 12th hole, the Golden Bell, and I put my first one in the water. I think I took an illegal drop, but the caddy let me drop on the other side.
Yeah.
And chipped it in for par. So I literally chipped it in, and then we were about to walk away to the 13th hole, and our caddy, I think his name was like Benny or Ben, something like that. He goes, "Oh, we can't leave yet." So he goes and puts 2 tees into the side of the cup and rests the ball on top of it.
Oh, that's
And we go
awesome.
back down there. He's like, "Let's recreate it." So that's us recreating the chipping. But
I was like, man, you had a great paparazzi that day. We were
Right.
talking about photographs, and you had a great photographer capturing it right as it
I
rolls in.
know, right? No, that was staged, but it actually did happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, golf has been my thing here lately, and Augusta, that place it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like the Emerald City. It's like it's so green. There's not a blade of grass out of place. It's unbelievable.
That's so cool. Tell me about this photo here.
Yeah, so that's my grandma Paquita.
Okay.
Paquita Rivera Guadalupe de Francesca McCreery is her name.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, I'm
No.
probably the only country singer who has a grandma with a name like that,
You may be.
But she is amazing. She is a firecracker, and she took us. We're in Puerto Rico in this picture right here, and that's where she's from, San Juan, Puerto Rico, old San Juan. So she was so proud that day. We went on our cruise with her, my granddaddy Bill, and my family. And we were stopping at different islands, but we were all so excited to go to Puerto Rico because Grandma was going to show us where she grew up. And where she grew up, too, now is like just it's a parking lot. But she was like, this where you're standing right here is where Grandma grew up. And she's just the sweetest lady, still kicking. I mean, she still spends 7 hours in her garden every day.
Does she really?
And you know, she's getting up there in the age, but she's an amazing lady and had a great marriage with my granddaddy Bill. So I learned a lot from old Grandma Paquita. That's my sister Ashley there as well.
Oh, is it really? Okay, cool. Yeah. And it was on a cruise when you guys.
Yeah, we took a
that.
little day stop there in Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. Looks like maybe a guitar for Christmas.
Yes, so that is my my granddaddy RP.
Is this where the love?
Yeah,
like they're really getting serious about music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really
pre-American Idol.
Yeah, that was my first guitar. My granddaddy gave it to me. He could crush the harmonica.
Could he?
Oh yeah, he could.
You get to jam?
No, I couldn't. I didn't figure guitar out for a few more years,
okay,
but yeah, he was the man. He was like Andy Griffith. He was a highway patrolman up in Elizabeth City, and there were 3 of them in that entire town, and everybody knew him. And they said he was the only trooper who could ever pull you over, give you a ticket, and by the time he was done talking to you, you'd thank him for giving you the ticket. Like, he was just such a good dude. And Grandma Janet's amazing as well. And so they gave me my first guitar for Christmas, and that's kind of where it all began.
You still have that?
I don't have that guitar still. I wish I did. I have my second guitar. Was an Ibanez Sunburst, and I still have that guitar. But I think, yeah, this one I probably tore it all up, not knowing what I was doing with it, you know.
That's right. You need one of those, though.
Yeah, right? That's how you got to learn. That's right.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl what? Super Bowl.
This was XLIX.
XLIX.
Which I'm not well versed in my Roman numerals.
I would say I made that
44?
49.
49. Yeah.
X would be 10.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the
9.
49 sounds right. So this was in.
Somebody will comment in the section below how wrong we are right now.
I know, it's so embarrassing. No, this was this was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it was the Patriots playing the Seahawks.
Yep.
And it was so cool. The Patriots asked me to sing at their pre-party for the team and the families and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So I went in there a couple days. I'd already booked the Grand Ole Opry that week. So I flew in to Phoenix like 3 days prior to the Super Bowl, got to sing for all the Patriots, flew back to Nashville, sang on the Grand Ole Opry the next night, flew back to Phoenix because they were like, can you come sing for us and we'll give you 2 tickets to the Super Bowl? I was like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So my dad, and we're huge Patriots fans, my dad's from New England, grew up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the Kittery, Elliott, Maine area as well. So being there for that game, and that was the Malcolm Butler, interception when Seattle should have just ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch and they would have won. That was pretty amazing to get to experience that with my dad.
And you wear a Red Sox t-shirt.
I know, right? Yeah. I was, I think I had like a big jersey or a long sleeve Patriots thing with me, and it was like hot.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
It was
Arizona, yeah.
So I was like, I can't rock, I want to rock something that's cool. So, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Is this a number 1 party? Is this how you did right here? Everybody's holding up a number 1?
Everybody, we were, right, it looks like it. That was the Blue Crew.
Okay.
For our Garner High School, that was our football cheering section, student section. And we had a big time, as you can tell. And it's so fun looking back at these pictures because, I still live in North Carolina, and a lot of these folks are still great friends of mine. There's Jordan and Lauren right there, and I'm on a kickball team with them right now.
Are you?
Probably 10 years later, we're still.
Because you still live there, right?
Yeah, I'm still in Raleigh. We're kind of back and forth there in Nashville, but Raleigh's still home. And I was looking for my wife in this picture too. I know she was there, but she's either hidden.
Maybe she was taking a photo?
She might be just off to the side. There's our buddy Ymir. He was the brightest smile. Everybody loved Ymir. He just passed away in a horrific car accident, but he, man, did he make such a difference in all these people's lives you see, because he was just the coolest kid. Funniest dude I've ever met in my life. Like, he could have you in stitches just laughing, so.
Same age?
Same age. We grew up together. He came into my class when we were in second grade, I believe. Just a troublemaker. I mean, he was just messing things up. But man, he grew into be such a great young man, and one of my best buddies all through school. But yeah, I mean, all these people, man, are just they're my buds. They're my buds.
Which one is he? He
is the one. No, he's in the suit right there with the blue vest.
Right there.
Yeah, man, he was the man. Oh, come here, man.
You mentioned your wife. Let's get the Let's get the wedding photo in here.
Absolutely.
That is a gorgeous photo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my beautiful wife could be on our wedding day.
How'd you get on this this rock?
That rock. So that's the mountains of North Carolina are like, that is our spot. I mean, we love going to the beach. But man, the mountains of Carolina, it's heaven on earth to us. So we got engaged not too far away from here, our wedding venue in Twickenham. It was kind of the name of the estate we got married at.
Okay.
And this rock was just kind of up. They had some cliffs with like a viewing area and stuff, and we had to walk a little ways, which I was fine with. She had to walk that in her dress and heels and stuff. I was like, she's a trooper. But that was such a fun day. And
she didn't have on Chuck Taylors or anything underneath?
No, she didn't. So she might have had flats on by that point to get around the mountain. But
now, did you do these on wedding day, or did you guys?
Yeah, so we had just said I do.
Okay.
And I guess all the guests were gone and getting their drinks at the reception area, and we went off and took some pictures. But yeah, it was a beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for anything else. And yeah, you can see how happy we are.
Yeah.
So here we are.
What were you guys doing in this one?
That was in Hawaii.
Okay.
I had a show.
Honeymoon?
No.
Okay.
I had a show. We were probably a year into marriage here, something like that.
Okay.
Still pretty newlyweds. And we'd booked a show in New Zealand. So it's just like, oh my goodness, I mean, that's halfway around the world. So we're like,
Sure.
So I asked my agent, Nate, I said, is there any way we can like get a show halfway there? Like maybe stop off in Hawaii or something. And so he got us 2 shows in Hawaii and Maui and Honolulu. And so this was in Maui. We took a helicopter ride, and there were no doors on the helicopter, so like we were hanging out. But fantastic views, and obviously we had a great time.
You went over to the area they have the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, exactly. They showed us some parts. They're like, yeah, they shot this for Jurassic Park, so
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty cool.
You guys took a little vacation here? I just saw this one on your Instagram the other day, so I thought I'd throw it in here.
Yeah, we went on down, us and another couple, Pat and Claire, and we went to Antigua.
Okay.
And just to kind of get away and, have a little fun in the sun. So that little, obviously you can see how much fun we're having, but that little straw hat right there, I love a straw hat. So that was like the first thing me and Pat bought when we got to the resort, and it was the first thing you see in the gift shops. We're like, oh, we're going to see these everywhere, and everybody's going to be wearing these. We were the only 2 people in the entire resort that were wearing them. So all the employees, everybody there, they just knew us by our hat, and they called us, oh, Mr. Sandals. So we were Mr. Sandals the whole trip. And you see those mimosas there. I mean, this is an all-inclusive resort.
Sure.
There's a bunch of people there, and we ran the pool bar dry of champagne twice on our 5-day trip, and then we went to another restaurant and we got mimosas from there. My wife didn't know, so she went back to get some, and they're like, well, we're out of champagne now because these guys in straw hats came and took it all. So we had.
It's like, yeah, that's my crew.
Yeah. I think I know them. So we definitely had.
This looks like a Sandals ad. Have they approached you about this yet?
No, they keep sending me these emails about here's 10% off or something, but I think they just know that we're suckers and we'll probably bite like we did the first time.
Dude, this has been fun going through some of these photos.
Man,
Thanks for sharing these.
I love doing this, man. Reminiscing. It's what I do on the bus with the guys. We'll literally do this on the bus with the guys, and we'll get on Apple TV or something.
Flip through your phone.
And just like, all right, let's go to this video. Or you guys remember this on the road? So I love kicking back and reminiscing on pictures and stuff. So thanks for having me.